What's up, everybody? Welcome to TBI, the Total Podcast Idiots Network. I'm idiot number one, Andrew, and I'm joined by idiot number two, Chris. Chris, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Andrew. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Oh, the train's passing by again. Lovely. Um, it's really hot, so that's why I'm a little glistening here. It's sweaty. But yeah, no, doing all right. Just yeah, let's talk hardwood. We
Absolutely.
got the tournament tab just opened up. We're halfway. I think today's the halfway point of the conference season. Always a nice time to check in on things. It's been a couple weeks since we recorded, due to lots of stuff going on with both of our lives.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, always good to talk with you about hardwood.
Absolutely. And I think honestly what just really inspired us to this today was when Donda dropped earlier, Kanye's new album. I think we are like, we got to get something out to the world. We got to let the world know how we feel about Donda. So we're actually not going to talk hardwood at all. We're just going to talk about that for the next hour. So
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I haven't listened to it, so I don't know.
I'm like, I pulled it up and I was like, it's like 27 songs or something crazy. And I
Oh
was like,
wow.
it's like, this is like I need to really take time to listen to this. So I'll figure it out later. But no, jokingly, obviously, we're sorry for the delay. Real life happens, and that's unfortunately, we're not professional podcasters. Maybe one day, once we hit 500 views or something. But um, that'd be kind of sweet. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk some tournament, Andrew. What do you think? Tournaments have appeared.
Yeah,
Excited about that. So
let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, so we got we'll always start with D1, but we have I think something to talk with about D2 at least. And then we'll peruse D3 as well. With D1, we have, my lovely team up here is a 2 seed. We're doing all right. I feel good,
okay.
about our season. But this is a really competitive group. Legends we noted having obviously North Greenville and Tennessee up top, but Huntington here, maybe a little underperforming this season from what we expected, but like they're still a really good team, obviously very talented. So if they're a 5 seed in my region, I'm pretty scared.
Huntington's going to be that team that I feel like, because we all put like really big expectations on them
Yeah,
at the start, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, crazy high TPI! Like, could this team go undefeated?" All that stuff, which is I think is unfair, but it's fun to
yeah,
talk about. But I
right.
really think Huntington's going to be that team that tournament time just gets hot and is just going to just absolutely destroy their region or get really close to the final four, and people are going to be like, "How the hell did this team get paired with me as a 5 seed?" Like then they're going to be mad, but. I hope they put it together. I know that Bridger's been, posting about it and stuff like that. But I think hopefully his team kind of switches up here soon.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we've seen before. I feel like with like I think I remember in Azusa Pacific's run, obviously they had a great season, but like they lost in their conference tournament. When I won my D2 national championship, like same thing happened to me, but like not that I was the top CPI team in D2 that year, but like I knew I had a really good team. I kind of just felt like I had the best team, and so the oh the like number. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. Resume share. All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Sorry about that. Kind of just got distracted by a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think we're okay. I was gonna say though, I was saying with Azusa and kind of Huntington here, it's like to me the best team usually comes out the victor. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Um, but yeah, I mean we have a yeah
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say I don't think like it's because there's been a couple games right like said that they've lost recently. I don't think it's uncommon. We've talked this before for hardwood teams to have weird stretches where sometimes your guys just don't play right. And we don't have as much insight into the formula on that. And very well could just be a coin flip and say there's 55% of the time you win versus 45% you lose. But I like to think that there's, sometimes the teams get in a slump. And in my opinion, it's better hit that slump now than it will be come tournament time and losing in the first round or something. So the talent's there. They're going to play some teams assuming that they stay on this trajectory, they're going to play some teams that are considerably less talented than them, that aren't in Legends. And I just think they're going to roll. And I hope for Bridger's sake they do, because I think he's put together a great team. And we love seeing Discord users do well. So.
Wow, the internet and Zoom are really not liking us right now. Lots of difficulties. We'll push through. We'll try to push through, but we'll try to make it quick too. Yeah, sorry, you were saying about Huntington though.
Yeah, I think obviously Bridger's had some disappointing losses recently, a couple back to back, but I think in Hardwood we see slumps, and I think that's a thing that happens, and it's a hell of a lot better to be slumping now than it is tournament time. And I think Huntington's gonna, kind of continue on this trajectory, win some good games, and probably play a team in the tournament that's just considerably less talented than in the first couple rounds, and just really get that swagger back, and hopefully, like I said, we like to see Discord users doing well. Hopefully, they can do well come tournament time, because they put together a great team.
For sure, yeah. I mean, in looking at other Legends teams, NYU, UCLA here, Chowan here. I know Florida State's somewhere right here, and Kansas State even. And I know you were saying like the 9th place Legends team still is going to get in and going to smack their first round opponent at least, if not make a bigger run even, just because Legends looks so good this season,
Yep. Yeah, I'd be terrified to play Florida State like if they're a 16 or a 15 or something like that. If that ends up happening, that would be horrible. But or even Louisville as a 14 or whatever they're at right now, like that's just brutal.
Oh, I miss Louisville too. Yeah, Louisville here. Yeah. And then looking at the top non D1 or not top non Legends teams, obviously Florida Gulf Coast, and they have the top RPI in D1. Obviously just one loss. Cough, cough to me. Cough, cough.
Let them know.
Yeah, but they deserve this top overall seed, projected for now. There's still 15 games left.
Yeah.
But I think the shocker is Tufts right here. You see, 1, 2, 3 mix, right? And yeah, I don't always expect number 4 to be here, but I mean number 22, that's a shocker.
Yeah, I think whenever we started to record, right, like when we talked about what we're going to talk about, I was like, okay, we got to talk about Tufts, because this is usually you'll see like the number 8 team there or the number 9 team or something like that, because it's not going to usually go 1, 2, 3 across the board, but 22, I mean, that's wild. And that puts it's not a target on their back, because obviously these players aren't real and they don't care, but it's wild to see the number 22 team as the number 2 overall seed in the tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, one with 6 losses as well. Granted, they're in LL2.
Yeah,
like that's very high up. But they're not leading their conference. Actually, I checked that Lewis and Clark is actually the 3 seed, A3 seed, and they're leading it by 2 games with a substantial advantage in point differential. Like, I don't know. Not to say Tufts doesn't deserve the number 1 ranking, but I do think there's a case to be made that they don't belong there right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to disparage them, and like I'm sure they've got a great season going on, and they do have a considerably better RPI than those other teams in their conference, which is
true.
It's at this point it does matter.
Yeah. I mean, they're the number 3 RPI. I mean, that's great. That's really good, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. But it is just surprising when you go on there and you're like, I'm gonna go see the tournament teams, and then you're like, wow, what the heck's going on here? So, we'll see if they can prove it come tournament time, if they stay up in that top, kind of top 3 seed area, or 1, 2, 3, whatever they are.
Yeah.
But that's difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I mean, Penn State being 24-1 with the number 2 RPI is really surprising and really good for them. Yeah. Is their president active? Because I know they had a new president. Oh yeah, this guy's fairly active. Because I mean, this was Pluckman's old team, and then they got taken over. So it looks like they're living up to it at least. Wow, we got a 24-1 Sioux Falls team. That's surprising to
Yeah,
say the least.
that one honestly is more surprising to me than Penn State.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. I mean, obviously being in South Dakota, it's tough to recruit. Yeah, wow. I know we've looked at this team before, so I won't look at them right now. And then 24-1 Augustana, of course, we've seen them before. The Vikings, Sea Dilk's team. Oh, wait, what? This is not Sea Dilk's. Wait, is this the other? I forget. I don't know. I always get mixed up with the Augustanas. There's Augustana College, and there's
Yeah.
Augustana. Oh, this one's also in Sioux Falls in South Dakota by a president who just logged in once. So, I mean, he won't get offended that I mistook him for someone else.
Hopefully not. Now he's gonna just log in just to leave us a YouTube message.
So never mind. All right. All right. What any other surprises here, or either way, some teams seated too low, some teams seated too high. Yeah, there's a couple that
I think there's a couple, we could obviously talk about here, but like when I'm looking at them, I'm just seeing the number 18 by the name or seeing the 19 for Louisville, stuff like that on the bubble, whether it's Chowan or Louisville. That's always kind of surprising. One that stuck out to me too, and I don't know a lot about this team, admittedly, but Central Washington as a 15-10 team in LL3. So it's not like they aren't the LL1, they're not the LL2, which you might see with some really, really good losses. But that one kind of stuck out to me as, on the bubble, they're in over some teams like Lipscomb or over some teams like, UConn. So like I said, I haven't done a ton of breakdown on that, but it's always surprising when you see that 10 digit and a 3 or a 4 versus in LL1 or 2.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know they're a strong program, but I agree. It is kind of surprising. Obviously, it's probably RPI driven for a large part of it. Not Western Washington or Central Washington. Maybe not. Maybe the RPI is not that good. Nope, I guess not. They're not in the top 50 for RPI, so I don't know what's really driving that up now. I mean, maybe are they leading their conference? Is that what it possibly is?
Yeah, that might make sense.
Yeah, they are. So they're leading their conference. So I guess that's a big part of it. I mean, surprising. I mean, but we'll see, because it's like they have to play 10 road games and just 5 home games in the second half of the season. That's going to be tough. Yeah,
that's going to be really tough. Like, you always hate when you see that schedule come out, right? And you see all those home games at first, because you're like, I wish this was a little more mixed up.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of scary coming down the stretch.
Yeah. And I mean, their road record is 4-5 overall. I mean, I know they're 4-1 in conference, but that could flip on its head for sure.
Yeah.
And then with Louisville and Chowan, like, it's almost like if Chowan loses and Louisville wins, like, this flips completely, like that's Louisville's spot, or if they just flip, so that's interesting.
A really close one.
Yeah. There's other teams here, kind of like, I mean, we see Knox right here. Knox is right behind Central Washington in that 3.4, but they're way up here. They're in, and obviously the record has something to do with it. I'm sure the RPI also has something to do with it. But that's surprising, because you get the team that's in second place, ahead of the first place team.
It's multiple spots ahead. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
It's not like it's 1 or 2. I mean, that's a considerable difference.
Right. Yeah. We talked about Tufts and Lewis and Clark, that difference, but they're both solidly in, versus like Knox is in Central Washington on the bubble. So yeah, it's kind of weird. The team that kind of sticks out to me here is because kind of like Central Washington, LL3, they don't have 10 losses, but they have 9. Yeah. So it's kind of like, what's going on there, I guess, I guess it's probably a combo of RPI, and they're probably, nope, they're 5th. See, I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's wild.
But they do have a good RPI, and they're in a conference that has a lot of good RPIs.
Yeah, this is tough. There's some tough opponents in this conference for sure.
Yeah, this is a really good conference. Holy
moly. I mean, look at the top 7, 8. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. That's really strong. So I mean, I guess that helps, but like, should they be in with that? I don't know about that.
Right. And they're
Um,
pretty in. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, those are the ones that definitely stick out to me. I mean, every kind of a lot of other things kind of seem to make sense,
Yeah.
like a Cal State East Bay team, 25, but they're an LL4.
Yeah.
Um, an LL2 17-8 Methodist. Uh,
Alaska is kind of surprising, right? Alaska 17-8 as an LL4
right
versus
over
like
here.
on the bubble Amherst 22-3. And granted, that
Yeah,
depends on who they play, it depends on their conference, but I mean, it's considerable record difference for teams in the same league level. So,
right. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I definitely see that Amherst record 22-3. Like that's really surprising that they're so low. Kind of same
yeah.
with Ball State here,
Yep.
at 22-3 as well. Like,
And Ball State being ranked. Yeah.
yeah, and they're ranked in, like, I know the rankings don't really mean anything.
Right.
But to me, it's kind of like, well, if you're ranked, clearly the algorithm of the game likes you. So shouldn't the tournament like you then too? Because I would figure it's the same algorithm. Maybe not though. I don't know.
I feel like it makes sense, right? Like, because I don't know how in depth Steve got with that, but like, I feel like that would make sense because from a real life perspective, right? Like, if
Right.
you expect the top 25 teams to make the tournament when
Yeah.
March Madness rolls around. So
Right.
I think that does that unless he's got. I mean, I'd figure there's a heavy emphasis on RPI for both, to be honest, but I don't know that for a fact because you do see a lot of those. I don't know. That's one to think about. Maybe people in the Discord can talk about that a little more, but that's interesting.
And well, with the other thing with like the top 25 versus the RPI and projected fields of the tournament, like in real life, the top 25 is like coaches or media.
True.
They're not the people who do the computer RPI stuff. Versus like here, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So I think it's computer for both. So I would think it's the same formula for both. I don't know that for sure either. But like you said, like I would expect the top 25 to make the tournament in real life. And
Yeah.
even in here, like D2 teams can be ranked in the top 25, but not obviously they can't make the D1 tournament. So even then that would extend it probably to like likely teams in D1 that would make it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But it's
Yeah.
I mean it's surprising though to see Ball State down there. And I mean, obviously Louisville has more losses, but they're a great program. But Ball State being 22-3 on the bubble, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if I was Amherst. I'd also be, feverishly checking every day to make sure that I don't slip off that because this can change quite a bit from day to day. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. I mean, it's still early. Like this just popped up yesterday, I think.
mhm.
So, yeah, this will definitely change a lot. But I mean, usually if you're in the top half of up here, like you're probably pretty safe unless you just have like a huge collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so teams up here just keep doing what you're doing. Teams over here maybe start to pick it up a little bit somewhat. At least if you want to be safe.
That's true. All right, I'm going to ask you, Andrew.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done this before, but we're halfway through the conference, right? Conference season. Any bold predictions for the tournament looking at this field?
Yeah, that's pretty broad, I guess.
Very on the spot.
Yeah, yeah. I shoot, I don't know. I'm sure trying to scan things too at the same time.
Right.
So it's hard.
I'll give you one. I think SUNY Oswego makes the tournament as
Oh,
a
nice.
shout
They're
out
way
to a
down
former
here.
podcast host. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully he comes back too at some point.
true, yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say I think an LL3 team makes the national championship game.
Wow. So they're gonna get the honor of playing Dominican. That's crazy.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think Georgetown is having an awesome season. They were undefeated through a heavy portion of the season. So they look really good. Geneseo looks really solid right now.
Yep.
Western Washington, I believe, has like the fourth or fifth RPI.
Yeah, they're really up
Fourth,
there. Yeah, fourth.
yeah. So I think there's definitely some strong contenders. South Florida was undefeated for a good portion. Augsburg, this is Cedok's team.
Yeah, that's it.
They're really good. So Pace here, Salisbury, we've seen them make a big run. Utah State, we've seen make a run. So yeah, I mean, I think there's big potential for an LL3 team to make it really far. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Experienced managers, good teams. I think that's not that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
And maybe that's not that bold. I don't know. I was a little on the
Yeah, we're
spot.
just having it. Yeah, I definitely put you on the spot there. We're just having fun. So
Yeah. Maybe a bolder one would be an LL4 team. I don't feel comfortable saying that about these LL4 teams right now.
no,
But
looking at them, I
not
mean,
that
there's
these
some really
LL4
good
teams are
ones.
bad, but
Yeah,
yeah,
like I think when I look at them, right, like I do like Alabama a lot.
yeah,
Looking
yeah.
at their roster, I don't know that Alabama is a finals team, but also, it kind of feels like there's a Cinderella every other year in Hardwood that really makes it deep into the tournament. So that's, I mean, who knows? We could see an LL4, we could see an LL3, or we could just see two Legends teams, try to destroy each other. Who knows?
True. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to D2 though. That was a nice cap for D1 though.
Absolutely.
For sure. D2, I think is really interesting. I've noted this to you and another person. There's a lot of Discord people, or at least people I think listen to the podcast in this field. Obviously Maryland Cough Daddies got the #1 overall seed. Look at where they've come. Look how far they've come.
I remember
I
you
remember
guys just
beating them
trying to
up.
have them win one game.
Yeah. I remember apologizing for beating them like by like 50 or something.
I remember that. I remember Rob saying he's going to take it easy on him and try not to beat him by 50 sometimes and stuff. So like I mean, Cough Daddy's done amazing, and I think he knew that. Like he had experienced the game before he took them over. I think he knew it was a pretty big rebuilding project, but
Yeah.
I think Maryland's going to be a team that, with the way they're constructed and having such an experienced president, they're going to be on this Division I tournament picture sooner than later. So
Yeah. Oh, and sorry if on this recording there's going to be some gaps of either of us silent, because my audio apparently is really messing up. But at least our connection has been good for the past like 10 minutes.
fingers crossed.
Yeah. Nobody Gents Rio Piedras is back up top. Actually, I saw them further down, but now like just in the last day they really moved up to a 1 seed now. Wow. St. Bonaventure having a great season here. Really nice. Your team, looking really strong. A #2 seed. Look at that.
Yeah, maybe not as bad of a situation to take over as Maryland, although we started in LS6 and weren't able to recruit as well. But I think we had a 16-game win streak that was snapped 2 days ago because my starting point guard, who's my best player, and one of my other guys was out. But they're playing well. I mean, I told you going into the season, I thought we'd finish 5th or 6th in the conference. So I think being top of the conference and being a #2 seed right now is great. Feels cool.
Yeah, I mean, I told you I thought you had a chance to promote.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the season you're having definitely is looking really good. So just keep it up. It'd be crazy if we each had a D2 national championship, and then we can really show off.
You're right. We'll see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count I'm not going to count those chickens yet, but
Of course.
I hope they do well. I think, UCA is a weird team where I think we need to start recruiting a little differently, because I think I've been working on a lot of project guys and I've gotten lucky with some gyms, but I think once you hit the LL4, hopefully we do this season, it kind of opens up a new prospect you can go after a little bit. Not to get too greedy, but I got bullied off quite a few guys this year and in the past, over the past couple seasons. So it feels good to be able to stake my claim a little more.
Yeah, definitely. I know we always talk about like strong conferences in D2, and VA just continues to historically be the best. So they have 3 teams in the top 2 seeds, or in two seeds or higher. Like that's crazy. And then they have Chicago here, Weber State, my eyesight is failing me. I mean, they have two down here, Rose Holman and Hartford.
Mhm.
I mean, it's historically just the strongest conference, which is just crazy to me that like season over season over season, they have been the best. Like I don't get how that's really possible.
Right. It's like such a weird coincidence, right? Where you're almost like, is it a coincidence? But
Hmm.
no, you're right. I think going into the season, when you kind of looked at the RP or the TPIs of the teams, that was 8 was the best one, and so it's not surprising to see these teams here. But like you said, for it to be pretty much year in and year out, just kind of strange. So
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then we have Westfield State, Punkska's team here. Let's see who else. Springfield, they've been posting some PRs. This is always, I think this is one of the weirder ones. Or who is the team that is posting like the national anthem singers of the kids?
again, I love the immersion some people put into their PRs because like you
Yeah.
just read them and it just gives you a little smile for your day. They're great. So
Yeah, and some of the ones they were coming up with, like, oh, it got me cracking up. I don't think it's Springfield. I think it's like Massachusetts or Maine Maritime, one of those,
right. It's
or
funny to see though, like
Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
what a school name too. But
Yeah.
it's
Right.
funny to see like people doing that and then other people being like, yeah, my team was busted for like 2 of my players are busted for cocaine possession or things like that.
I
Like
know. Yeah. Yeah.
the different level of PRs. It's very funny to see what some people come up with. So
Yeah. No, I'm trying to give my players and my program personality, but man, I to that level, it's just I don't know. It takes a much more creative mind, which all props to those presidents. Um, let's see. So we got your Fullerton team here,
yep.
doing pretty well, having a nice season. Do you want to talk about them?
I hope we promote that.
Yeah.
I already told Andrew I was worried because I think we had like 13 or 12 home games or something on it's way too lopsided. So I think that's it. I just hope we have no injuries, and I think if we have no injuries, I think we'll be fine. So
Yeah. Okay. Our Lawrence is University of New England, and Taves Nazareth team here, who they were having a really good season. Like I think he said undefeated in conference up until this morning, I think.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see him there at all. I think that Nazareth is that's one of the teams I looked at planning out kind of the D2 tournament, and I think they look really good.
Yeah. Let's see, who else do we have here? I mean, Kansas DCM. It's always surprising to hear DCM talk about Kansas, obviously because Kansas in real life is like an incredible program.
Yes.
And DCM has also been like a longtime president, and Kansas in this game has been really good. Obviously on a bit of a downturn, but like it's always interesting to hear like the expectations in the recruits that he's getting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like they're on the come up again, though.
Yeah, I think that Kansas, it's similar to like, because they're Plains, right? If I'm right.
Yeah.
And I think they're in the same as Oklahoma, which has been a historically very good program in Hardwood as well.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like, we've all looked at the national recruits, we've all seen that. And it's wild to see a school when you think Kansas, you always think, the 5-star guys, like the Joel Embiid's, guys like that. But I mean, it's impressive to be able to maintain a good team in some of those regions that don't have as many recruits. I think we've been lucky to have teams in California out west. But some of these other areas, like you really have to find the good players. And I think that's what these good presidents can do. Like Kansas's president was, kind of maintain that success by finding those diamonds in the rough. So
yeah, it definitely presents a different, bigger challenge, or in a different way, especially out in the plains. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I definitely feel lucky being in California for my team. And my former team being in New York too. Like that was also a pretty talent-rich region for the most part. Very competitive, but lots of talent at least.
Yeah, I felt like the South is bad enough sometimes, and I feel like even then, like the South has, I would say, typically a more of a quantity of better players than the Plains or things like that. But I mean, Hardwood's a funny game. You see people like Nobody Jones being like, I'm going to go out to Puerto Rico and I'm going to go just casually be a one seed in the LO5 tournament. So it's a fun challenge for some players, I think, but I definitely like making it a little easier on myself.
Yeah, that's true. Um, anything else of note here? I mean, I know there's some other presidents like Lamar having a nice, solid season. Not spectacular, but I don't think coming in like Woodard had expectations of even being this competitive. I think their expectations were just to maybe survive in D2 because it's their first time in D2. I'm pretty sure. So it's like, to be this on the bubble is a really good thing, because I think they're just building up their team too. So it's like,
I played I played Lamar yesterday and had some back and forth, but I think that he told me the same thing. Like, I'm hoping to stay up, and I think it's a little modest in a way because like I definitely understand that, but I think Lamar is building something well, and I think whether they promote or not this season, I think they're definitely on the up, and I'm not surprised to see them there because I think they have a really good team.
Yeah, and I mean, we gave a lot of props to V8, but you're 5.7. You're the conference.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
Mount St. Joseph's, Lamar, Redlands. There's one over here, Liberty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good conference too. I'm sure if I paid attention to it more, I'm sure a lot of conferences are pretty good.
True. There's a lot, but I think what's funny is, and I don't know if it's like this today, but what's funny is for most of the season, myself, Liberty, and Campbell have been the top three, which were the top three in our conference last season that promoted, and we kind of had like a really big tussle there. So I'm kind of expecting that to come down to one of us three here at the end. But I mean, Redlands is really good. They've got a scary team. They recruit well. Lamar is good, like I said. Mount St. Joe. It's a tough conference. I'm happy that we are where we are. But that's what I was saying when I told you before. I thought, there's no way we promote this year. Some of these other teams had some really stacked teams.
Right. Yeah. No, it's gonna come down. Looks like it's gonna come down to the wire. Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to D3 and go over it real briefly. Kind of see what we can pick out, because I mean, to be honest, it's just the division I haven't had to pay attention to. I was talking to someone else about it. Like, I haven't been in D3 in like a year, like a year of real life.
Actual year, yeah. I mean, it's been a while since you've been down with them, but I mean, I kind of the same way. I mean, I was in there last year, but I've just completely blinders on and not paid attention at all to LL6. So.
Yeah, but I mean, just looking at it, like obviously a lot of strong records. Like there's a 24-1 team here. And I know this team because the person I talked to is in this conference. So they're a very talented team, obviously good record, but like the strength of schedule is awful. It's like, at least before today's game, it was under 400.
Ooh, I mean, that's actually kind of impressive. But I mean, you'd hope that they're 24-1 or something with that. But
yeah.
No, I mean, you see it a lot, right? In LL6, like some of the teams are just terrible. Like and it's not most, but there's matchups you're going to go up with where the other guy has like a 6'4", like 60 SI center because like it's like that stuff happens, and thankfully it kind of makes it a little easier to promote out of there. But I'm not surprised to see some of these records when you think about some of the teams that are in LL6.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's just hard to believe, but like definitely some programs here. My eyes are drawn to Pittsburgh here. I didn't even know they were I thought they were, because it's like a pretty experienced president. I'm pretty sure it's like
I think so.
Yeah, it's like hockey TRB. Like,
he's an original guy, right? He's an OG.
Yeah, I think so.
Or really close if he's not.
Yeah, like long time for sure.
Yeah.
Really long time. But like things obviously happen. Maybe a little bit of a break from the game or something, or just downturn in luck. A lot of times that will do it.
Hardwood can be very cruel sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. let's see. I'm trying to look at other teams that I might recognize. I mean, I don't know. Not many are coming out.
Washington's one that sticks out to me because I know some of the player I recruited some of the players they had there when
Yeah.
I was there temporarily. So they've got a couple talented guys, but they're kind of a weird roster where stuff doesn't fit.
Where are
So I'm a
they?
little surprised to see
So
them here.
lost.
But
I'm so lost. Where are they?
oh,
Oh,
they're
here,
on the
here.
bubble. Yeah, right on the
Gotcha.
bubble.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, you've got Notre Dame Dinamur coming in, which is nice. Nice to see.
Well,
Um,
unfortunately, they turned bot.
Never mind. Not nice to see anymore.
Yeah, yeah. He left. He left. Unfortunately. Um, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I know my two of my former conference mates, the New Mexico Highlands and South Dakota Mines. It's nice to see them up here. I think South Dakota Mines is like an active president. It's just it's hard to build in South Dakota.
Yep,
They
similar thing. Planes.
yeah
There you
yeah,
go.
but they've been active for like over a year now. So
That's
hey,
awesome.
nice.
Also, the Hard Rockers is a phenomenal mascot. I've never
I
seen.
know.
That's awesome.
Also, like I always like it when the president name like matches like
Oh
kind of
yeah,
matches the school name. So that's
yeah. I
always
think
cool.
you had that with Rochelle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Blue Angels, like the Jets, and then I was like flyby. And
yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
Also, shout out Laverne. Laverne's I think they're there on the bubble, right? Or they're out.
Yeah.
So
No,
out for
they're
now,
out.
but
Yeah, but they're on their way up. They're on their
on
way
the way
up.
up. And I
Yeah.
know
Shout
he's
out to Laverne.
talking with him. He's had some bad luck recently, so hopefully it's just one of those hardwood slumps and they turn it around and we can see him make the tournament because we always
Yeah.
want to see users over bots. When it
Yeah.
comes to this stuff, it makes it more fun. Come pick 'em time, things like that. And it's probably a little healthier for the game, but
Yeah.
hopefully that turns around for them soon. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know a lot about LL6. I mean, I can recognize some of
Sorry,
these teams.
LL6.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah. And like even historically, I'm not sure about a lot of these teams. Like obviously Auburn. I remember when they were in LL4 with me with Rochelle, and like they were really bad. And they had a 5-star who I don't even think is on the team anymore. Oh yeah, this is the Grand Wizard.
Oh
Oh, actually, he's
no, yeah,
active.
yeah. Never mind.
Well, I don't know exactly wish you luck.
I hope it's a
Uh,
very unfortunate misunderstanding.
right,
We'll just
yeah.
leave it at that.
Yeah. Alabama A&M though, I know is an active president in like long time, not long time, but like longer than I've been playing. So it's good to see them being having success with this team because I know their other team, UC San Diego, not a bad season or program, but obviously not to this level of success. Although they're in D2, so it's obviously harder.
Sure.
um, yeah, everyone else, I'm kind of like I don't really know too well as much.
Yeah, I mean, I see some of these teams whenever it comes to like recruiting, like Humboldt State was recently an LL4 team. I think they
Yeah,
just kind of dropped whenever their president went inactive.
yeah.
Obviously we see Santa Barbara sometimes or see UC Riverside, but I don't know if
Oh,
you've got if you've got.
North
Oh,
Carolina
there you go.
Central. Yeah,
Okay, North
that's
Carolina
one.
Central.
Nice to see them having a good season. I know they've kind of tried to thread the needle of like being competitive and recruiting uh, with everything in mind that they were taking over a program that was struggling or about to struggle. So it's tough to like thread that needle and walk that line. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying though.
No, I was just going to say that I think we can recognize some of these teams, but if you have some insight on your conference or you want to let us know about your team that's on this list or on the up and up in LL6, leave a comment in the Discord, leave a comment on the video, maybe we'll shout you out next episode. So
Yeah, I mean, and remember, like both of us, and a lot of people, we all started in LL6. Like, I mean, not everyone. Some teams started in LL1 and stayed there.
true, and just stayed there for. That is
But
a wild ride when you look at history of some teams, and it's like this team started in LL2 and has never gone lower than LL3. Like it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But a lot of people started out in LL6 and have risen up. For me, that's my story. In a lot, I see a lot of programs are doing that. With that's one of the main things about this, what we do here with this show. Like I think it's really helped a lot of people improve their programs a lot quicker. Um, when people rise up, someone's going to fall down now. And so I think the higher teams have fallen down, so, but that's that balance, that's that competitiveness and parity. I think that is good for the game. It's tough. It's frustrating to be those teams falling down, but like you'll also bounce back. Like that's part of the game,
Yeah, all it takes is an unlucky season or some bad injuries or missing out on a couple recruits in 1 year, and to set you back for a year and maybe fall down. But I think like you said, it's healthy for the game. It's parity. It makes sense. And if you are a newer player who's watching this and just kind of started watching the podcast recently, go back and watch the earlier podcasts, because it was a lot of good tips and trick stuff. It's stuff that I used to climb out of LL6 and build a really successful team. So I think it's always good to go back and reference some of that, because not a lot of that stuff changes. Recruiting strategies are pretty similar. Redshirting strategies are similar, stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And like always, there's the Discord, which is super helpful and probably much more current. I mean, because like a lot of our advice from in those tips and tricks videos has remained the same, I would say, but there's definitely some differences now. I think with assistant coaches, especially being more prevalent.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think that's I think the main change that has caused some things to be a little different, but I think everything else is pretty much the same that I can think of off the top of my head, at least. So yeah, those are all definitely valuable. I mean, we haven't done any for a while just because like it's harder to come up with ideas, I guess.
Andrew doesn't want to give you guys the secret sauce. He doesn't want to let you know what he's doing to climb so fast.
That's kind of true too. I mean, I literally showed everyone my tactics one episode.
That's true. Multiple times, I think you've actually done that.
I showed people my recruiting board accidentally.
That was always fun. You're like, oh, well, everybody knows, I guess. Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to see that, come take a look. No.
Let's break down your underclassmen you've offered, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and look.
Sure.
But no, just like I was saying, if you want to go back and watch those, and I think too, I think one of the best parts about Hardwood's the community. I love the Discord. I think it's fun to spend time in there, just kind of messing around and having a good time. If you ever have any questions, you want to run by stuff, you can just send me a private message on there. I'll try to help. I'm obviously not as experienced, but I did get called a good president the other day, and I was like, I don't think it's true, but I was like, that feels really good. So, if you guys ever have any questions, whether it's about some recruiting stuff or some lineup stuff, feel free to shoot it over to me, and I'll try to help you out.
Yeah, likewise. Clearly, I love talking about this game.
Oh yeah.
A few presidents who are newish, consistently talk with me. So, I'm always open to. I can try to help. I mean, I guess I'm credible at this point.
I think with your, you need to get like a pennant. Like we need to make you a national championship pennant from LL5 and just put it up behind you, and we can Photoshop it in your little background. I think that'd be awesome. You'd be like, you want to see my credentials? Just look back here, every time. So
yeah. maybe that'll pop up next episode.
Have you seen the Brian Hoffmeister commitment video? That's all you need to know.
That's right. That's all right. Well, it's good chatting with you, looking over the projected tournament fields. Still 15 games to go, you guys. Lots of time to change that up and move up, or even get that 1 seed.
This is going to be so different by the time we cover it, whenever the tournament actually rolls around. So just, if you're like Andrew said, if you've got it cooking right now, hope it keeps up, but maybe it's time for some changes if your team's having some slumps, but good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Good luck. We'll try to get an episode next weekend. We'll try to be more consistent. It's been tough, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we'll keep on trying. So thanks for your patience, and hope you enjoy the video. See you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't stop it. Okay.